Battle through the firmament. Grand world. Chapter 390 Green Fire. After passing through the layers of origin key, Xiaoyan felt a sense of emptiness in his body. His legs went weak, and he almost fell to the ground. Xiaoao beside him quickly supported him. Xiaoyan smiled bitterly and took out a medicine pill, swallowing it. The origin key in this space could not be absorbed and refined. Every step he took required a large amount of origin monic key. He could only rely on the medicine pill to barely maintain it. After resting for a moment, Xiaoyan once again got up and walked along the same path as Xiaoao. Usually, it would only take a few minutes to complete the journey, but now it took him half a day. Not far away, the bewitching blue water droplet was still crazily absorbing the enormous origin monic key. It was like a bottomless pit, showing no signs of change. Xiaoyan sighed. He sat cross-legged on the ground and took out the dragon's soul bone wrapped in Xiaoao's clothes. He glanced at it before handing it to Xiaoao. The latter's face was filled with joy. Just as he was about to open it, he saw Xiaoyan watching him. He stuck out his tongue and walked to the side, happily examining the dragon's soul bone with his back turned. Xiaoyan's spiritual strength was much sharper than Xiaoao's. It was also because of this that he was drawn to the power contained within the dragon's soul bone, vast and mighty as an ocean. Xiaoyan would unknowingly sink into it. When he was unable to resist its power, he temporarily avoided looking directly at the dragon's soul bone. He saw Xiaoao begin healing the injuries in his body. Xiaoyan was delighted. After such a long time, this little fellow could finally recover. Being unable to absorb and refine the vast origin monic key in this space was torture. For a moment, Xiaoyan had nothing to do. He couldn't consume origin key to cultivate the monic skill, so he sat quietly, recalling the deficiencies in his cultivation and the methods Ma Huyang and Lindao had shown him that day, hoping to gain some insight. Xiaoao's expression turned solemn, a stark contrast to his earlier smile. Placing the dragon's soul bone before him, Xiaoao shut his eyes tightly. A surge of energy erupted from his body, and soon, an illusory purple dragon shadow rushed out from the top of his head. The dragon shadow was tiny. After hovering in the air for a moment, it rushed forward and coiled tightly around the dragon's soul bone. The dark black bone shone with an unusual spiritual light, repeatedly washing over the dragon shadow's illusory body. The dragon shadow swallowed the spiritual light in large gulps, and as the light entered its mouth, it transformed into streams of dragon ki, circulating around its body. At the same time, the trace of sickly fatigue between Xiaoao's eyebrows seemed to fade slowly. "Hey, that little girlfriend of yours is calling you. She said it's time to go out." A cold voice suddenly sounded in Xiaoyan's mind, interrupting his mental cultivation. He glanced at the demonic water droplet still devouring origin monic key and the motionless Xiaoao. Hesitation flashed in his heart, but as he was about to get up, he noticed a white cloth beside him, wrapped around something. Xiaoyan touched it and recognized it as the dragon's soul bone. It seemed Xiaoao had already used it but hadn't woken up yet. After a moment of hesitation, Xiaoyan decided not to wake Xiaoao and prepared to leave. No matter what, he couldn't let the academy's people grow suspicious or let Zuna and Kalen worry. "I hope it is useful." Mumbling to himself, Xiaoyan stored the dragon's soul bone wrapped in white cloth. Then, he focused his mind and vaguely sensed a fire source seed within it. The voice resounded again. "How am I going to get out?" Xiaoyan asked quietly through his mind. "This spatial zone belongs to the deepest level. Only I can get you out. Don't even think about leaving alone." A cold voice replied. Instantly, an irresistible force wrapped around Xiaoyan, and in the next moment, he vanished from the spatial zone, leaving only Xiaoao and the blue water droplet behind. Hua! Xiaoyan opened his eyes and found himself in the canyon. Wu Shaoqi stood before him, waiting anxiously. She smiled when she saw him and hurriedly said, "It's time. The spatial crack has appeared. Let's hurry and leave, or the Elder's origin key won't hold much longer. We'll have to wait for the next opportunity otherwise." Nodding, Xiaoyan turned and cupped his fists at Blood Eye. I've gained insights into my cultivation in that spatial zone. Please send me in again next time. Without waiting for Blood Eye's response, he pulled Wu Shaoqi and rushed out of the canyon. The oppressive origin key in the spatial zone had made every step arduous, but now, speeding through the open space felt exhilarating. Bastard brat, what did you say? Blood Eye roared in a hoarse voice after a moment of stunned silence. Xiaoyan had already consumed nearly half of his origin key to enter the canyon, and now this brat wanted to go back in. Did he think the spatial zone was his home, where he could come and go as he pleased? As his anger subsided, Blood Eye muttered to himself, this guy, could his strength really increase? But if he survives, that's good too. I've heard there are treasures inside the altar. Once I have a body, I must go in and look for them. I wonder if the 108 stone golems are still usable. After his muttering, Blood Eye transformed into a boundless sea of blood and settled back into the valley. By the way, how did you call that guy out? Xiaoyan suddenly asked Wu Shaoqi curiously. He had used the monic flame to summon Blood Eye, but Wu Shaoqi had managed it without it. Wu Shaoqi chuckled, raising her arm and gently moving her fingers. A burning green flame emerged from her palm, swaying like a green lotus in the wind as they ran. This is the flame I've comprehended these days. According to the Fire Emperor scripture, it condenses the fire source key in my body into a flame, the green fiery flame. At its peak, it surpasses even an ordinary monic flame. So powerful, Xiaoyan sighed, finding it reasonable. Flame Lord's mastery of the Fire Emperor scripture far exceeded Wu Shaoqi's current strength, and the scripture itself was at least a saint-grade cultivation technique. I called him out the same way you did. He seemed to recognize me, so he didn't argue and brought you out. Recalling Blood Eye's roar, Wu Shaoqi stuck out her tongue. Xiaoyan nodded, keeping the matter of the dragon's soul bone buried deep in his heart. Until his strength grew, not even Zuna or Kalen could know. It wasn't distrust but the sheer magnitude of the consequences. If others learned of it, even Yunlo Academy might face danger. For the overlords of the pill world with ancient stage soul strength, the dragon's soul bone was enough to make them abandon everything. Exiting the canyon, the two immediately spotted a spatial crack nearby. Without hesitation, they flashed through it. The crack trembled and sealed shut behind them. The elders outside had exhausted their origin key. Chapter end. Please guys like, comment, share, and subscribe.